beat with no hesitation. I kill a beat with no hesitation. Only thing I know is hard work, dedication. That boy flow sick and it beat the medication. It's kings at this table, you can't make a reservation. Who you know do it better? Hopping on a flight.
Ooh, hey.
I'll do it better.
Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. That song is not only, the intro to this pod, man, but that's one of my favorite songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? That's by yours truly, my brother Just right here, man. We back in the building. We are back in the building. This is episode 2, the Shot Clock Show on the Barber's Chair Network. You know what I'm saying?
New 24.
We out here. Listen, my name is Mariano. In case you ain't familiar, your first time tuning in, first time hearing me, seeing me, and all that. You can call me Mari. On Twitter is at Mariano, 2 N's, 2 O's. Like I usually tell your aunt when she asks me for money.
They can ask their aunt what they call you.
Yeah, you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, it's at Mariano Bibbins. I'm with my brother though. Just what up, man? Let them know. They can, get in touch with you.
You already know, same thing. It's already right there on the screen. _Just Smith, and then vice versa on every other app, man. But
yeah,
here for another 24. Like I said, it's a fresh shot clock.
Another 24. Yeah, and if you missed, kind of the thought process behind the show, obviously it relates to basketball, but it definitely applies to life as well, because we all don't have the same 24. We all have 24, but it all ain't the same, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. So we got a couple things to get to. We're gonna talk about Dame. Dame is finally doing what a lot of people wanted him to do, and there's a lot of discourse around that. We're gonna talk a little bit about Wemby. I want to get in the sun about Wemby. Okay. We're gonna talk about a couple of our guys too. We just was texting about this a little while ago. A couple of the guys, the homies, the bros, they showing out. But first, let's get to this, right? Because I tweeted this out earlier that we was gonna be recording and everything, recording early. Okay. And I just wanted just whatever questions, right? We got a question. Yeah. It's just it said random question. Shout out to Ant Smith, Ant_Smith7 on Twitter. Says random Q, but who had the better verses on Brooklyn's Finest, Big or Jay?
Oh, come on, man.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it.
Come on, this is unfair, bro.
Because I have an answer. And let me give you my perspective on my answer first, right?
Yeah.
Now, for me, all time, there's probably going to be nobody that's going to like really replace Big as far as like what you mean to me as a rapper. But even when you hear Clark Kent tell the story about how the song came about, I will probably give the edge to Jay just because of the reaction that he got from Big hearing. They was always kind of hearing about each other. And then they saw each other in person, and then Big was like, nah, hold on. He's really like y'all said. Okay, cool. I'll be back.
Yeah.
So I would be inclined to say Jay, because if you left that kind of impression on Big in that session, I'm going to defer to another great in there who deferred to you. So I'm going to say Jay.
Yeah.
Jay went crazy on that shit.
I think that I'll say this. I think Hov, honestly, that was his coming out party in terms of being in that same breath as what he considered the greatest. You know what I mean? Yep. Even though, him and Big grew up together, but, Big at that time was just on a out of the worldly being level. So I got to say Hov took that opportunity to say, like, I'm here. But I would say that Big had the most standout moment given the other circumstance with Pac and Faith.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So when you said the two Pacs, that line really just
that was hard.
But I think that animal right there is when people started to realize like Hov might be.
Yeah, that's when it was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah. So I think we're in agreement there. Which is that's fair. Right. But let's get to it, man. Let's get to this. This whole run. Where you want to start? You want to start with free agency? You want to start with Dame? How you want to do? What we doing?
Let's get into Dame, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think it's a conversation that's been overdue anyway. So let's do it.
100%. So in case you guys been living under a rock or you put your phone down, you on a sabbatical from social media and all that, don't worry, we got you. We're gonna let you know what's going on. Right. Damian Lillard, who's been with the Portland Trailblazers since he started his career, right? Has finally requested a trade. Obviously over the past couple weeks, couple months, They've been saying that Dame is going to monitor what the team did in the draft and free agency, whatever, just to see what's going on. Now, he was very vocal about, wanting to, no, I'm not building with a bunch of young guys again. I can't go through another rebuild. I'm not doing that. I want y'all to move this for a prominent player. The Blazers are loyal to the name on the front of the jersey.
Of course.
Always. As any team should be. And Dame has been loyal to that same franchise, but now he's at a point where he's like, it's like they're in an impasse. What's going on? What we going to do? Right. It's like, all right, let me make a decision. So Dame said he want to get out of there. Now it's rumored he only wants to go to the Miami Heat, right? So let's just unpack the whole shit here. Just right. How you feel about it, all that. Let's talk about that.
All right, yeah. So for me, this is something that even me and you spoke about this a long time ago. Like, this is something that, for my own personal selfish reasons, I've been wanting him to do. And this is also something that I felt like was just a course of the inevitable. Because it's only but so many times, like, and I'm swear this is no disrespect to people who have been in abusive relationships, but it's only but so many times you can keep on being abused and not get enough and leave. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's been in a domestic dispute, a domestic relationship with this front office forever. Yeah. I feel like once they hired Joe Cronin, I was like, this guy only has a 1-year window to impress Dame. And, Matisse Thybulle and Jeremy Grant just wasn't going to cut it, regardless of the fact. No. And then you start looking at the way the CBA played out, who became available, what the money game was starting to look like. And then you start realizing in retrospect, like, you know what, there's just no reality that anybody's going to get to Portland.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's a lot of rumors going around. I tell people all the time, I got a lot of close friends that are real big Dame friends. I tell people all the time, as big as of a star Dame is, and given the circumstances of what happened, how it happened, and what's going on right now with everybody, and the money and everything, it's going to be something new every day you're going to hear. Don't believe everything you see and hear. That's for one. Dame is a straight shooter, so if it didn't come from him most of the time, the closest going to get to him is Chris Haynes.
Right. 100%.
So with that being said, I also understand that it's a business aspect side of things, right? But I do believe in operating business in good faith. So I say that to say that I do think that Portland owes it to him to get him to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of players who requested to go to places they wanted to be, and they honestly didn't deserve that shit.
Right.
To be honest with you, I think that Dame has been overly loyal.
Yeah. It's the least they could do.
You know what I mean? I think that's literally the least you can do out of respect for him. Of course, on the business side, you're going to want the best package you could get.
Yeah.
Like I tell people all the time, when you trade a superstar player, it's rare you get a superstar back.
Yeah, it usually does not happen.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, you might.
What's the last time it came close to that? T-Mac and Steve Francis or something? Like
probably something like that. Like,
probably.
Even,
that's a dub ago right now. Like, that's
even trade you probably could call in recent history on honestly might be like DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of quality player.
Yeah.
But even then, it's still a gap.
Even still, 100%. Yeah.
So with Dame, you got to understand, especially given the circumstances of what's going on around the league, Dame is lamb chops. You know what I'm saying? And in exchange, you might get chicken from the dirty spot back. You know what I'm saying? But how many times chicken on the dirty spot and helped us at night? You feel me?
It's reliable. Yeah, no, 100%.
Box ain't never do us wrong. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. And
it's just a matter of that, I think. And I think that they need to get him where he needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Let him go to South Beach. Let him. He tired of Voodoo Donuts. Let him go to Ocean Prime for once. You smell me?
No, it's a fact. See, and I think another part of this too, though, when you talk about Dame and like nobody's going to Portland. You got to think, bro, the biggest name that LeBron James could attract to Cleveland was like Anton Jameson at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, so nobody was going to Cleveland, bro. Like, it was never realistic. So if they were to team up, it was going to be in Miami. If I asked you right now, hey, all respect to everybody, wherever you from, wherever you lay your head, that's cool. But if I asked you, hey, you got 2 weeks off of work, where you want to go spend it? You got 2 options, only 2. Choose wisely. You can go to Cleveland, or you can go to Miami. What are we doing?
Nigga, I love Bone Thugs more than anybody in the world.
And that's what I'm saying. So and
I definitely would have been at Rick Ross.
We going to Miami. That's what I'm saying. And so it's not even a debate. Facts.
Facts.
When they traded away, this to me, I feel like Dame Dame and Steph were very similar to me, like narrative wise, except like when you look at it and you say, okay, all the talent in the world with an organization that didn't do the right thing by him versus a guy who all the talent in the world and the organization did exactly what they were supposed to do. But I'm gonna tell you what's going on.
Perfectly said, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Steph is a product of an organization being good, being, competent, being on top of their shit. Dame is the complete opposite. But people look at Steph after he started winning like, oh, of course he won. He got Clay and he got this and he got that. Yeah, but they drafted them. He got them because they didn't even think he was going to last in the league. His ankle was fucked up.
Right.
His first couple of years, like, let's be real.
We was slandering him.
Yeah, 100%. With Dame, it's like you got this guy. He's showing you he's the guy, and you're not putting anything around him. So you punish. This is the reason why NBA media is cooked and why NBA discourse is cooked overall.
Facts.
Because you don't know what you want. You look at Dame and you say, oh, man, the organization got to get him this. They got to get him that. They got to get him this. But imagine if the organization got him that. You would say he only won because he had it. You know how I know? Because you just said it about Steph. You say it about Steph all the time.
The damn if you do, don't worry.
100%. And I think, and that's where we are right now today. Where we are right now today is damn if you do, damn if you don't, because Dame figured, I sat here while y'all traded CJ McCollum the same way the Warriors traded Monte Ellis, a beloved guy who was my number, that's my guy. Like we back with Robin. It's the same thing, right?
Right.
And then from that point, people like, what are we gonna do? What did the Warriors do? The Warriors said, okay, I'm gonna show you. We'll give you money back. I remember this like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you money back if we don't make the playoffs. We're gonna be doing all type of shit for y'all. The Blazers said, And you know what they're doing now? That's the difference. That's really the only difference because Steph was in the same situation.
I think that this like it's perfectly like the way you just put that that comparison was insanely great, my nigga. I gotta give you your flowers, my nigga. But it's crazy because, like I said, my boys like the way how I feel about AI. I mean, you know how AI, that's my GOAT to me.
100%.
My boy Dame is his GOAT, and he sends me like every link that pops up about Dame with a trade room. I'm like, bro, you're gonna kill yourself. And he sends he's to the point like he follow like Blazer insiders. So like,
he entrenched in the
deep in the pain. He deep in the pain. You feel me? So I'm telling him like, yo, bro, like he's sending me joints. Niggas is like, yo, Dame is disloyal. I'm like, bro, that nigga gave y'all 11 years,
bro,
of that nigga career, and at every year he gave you. It never was a year we looked at Dame like he took a year off. Dame was busting ass every year as a Blazer,
averaging 30, bro. Like
it's damn you don't, because when he stays, because like you said, like he stays, then it's the front office is not doing enough for him. You know what I mean? Or maybe he does need to leave so he can win. So then when he finally does it, it's like, oh shit! Like I hate people that be like that. Like somebody tell him to smack the shit out of you, and then nigga smack him and be like, oh shit!
Oh, you gonna smack me? Word? That's what we doing?
You thought I wasn't?
I told you this an hour ago, nigga. Like,
you feel me? So now that he like I'm out, everybody like, oh, he disloyal you.
Oh, he a diva. You know what I saw? They said he a diva, bro. Listen, he's doing exactly what I told him to do. Use his power to get out of there.
Yo,
if a nigga tell you, bro, if you about to leave your job right now. You put your 2 week. Imagine you put your 2 week notice in at your job, and they be like, "All right, we'll help you get to whatever company you want to get to, where you want to go." Right. You think I'm gonna be like, "No, fuck that. I'm gonna keep it." No, I want to go over there. If you send me somewhere else, I ain't going. I'm not going to orientation.
Like, come on, bro. Like at the end of the day, that man, like, he's in his prime years. He's coming off averaging 33 points. I mean, he's only
which is absurd, bro. Because nobody even really cared that much, unless you really love Dame or you love basketball. Niggas ain't care.
Entertained by the nigga, you feel me? So it's like for him to be, you know what I mean, not getting the assistance that he needs, it's time for him to go. And then even Portland realized that when they picked Scoot, like, yo, you know what? Then like that's why I tell you these deals are done already. All right, don't get fooled by the narratives. It's all for dramatic purposes. These deals are done. They just know that you reactionary motherfuckers.
And not for nothing, you said on the first episode that Scoot was going to be good money for Portland, whether Dame was there or not. I was going to point that out. So it wasn't like contingent upon Dame. It was whether he's there or not. This is what it's going to be. So
it didn't matter. But they definitely knew they built for the future when they picked Scoot. They already got a backcourt with Scoot and Shaden. The only thing they don't have is a big. They just paid Jeremy. Jeremy, to be honest with you, he got his money. He's probably going to leave after next year and get traded.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
but you can see the writings on the wall. Like, okay, Damon's not gonna be here no more, especially when that number 3 pick didn't go out, because that's the biggest asset they had. With all due respect, nobody wants Yusuf Nurkic, bro. So
yeah, this ain't like 6 years ago, bro. Like,
you know what I mean? And it's very wild to think, because Denver was struggling choosing between him and Joker, and look how the world works now,
bro.
He got traded to Portland because
bro,
both these niggas is mad nice. We got to keep one because we can't pay both.
This is their karma.
This is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I wish Dame all the best of luck. I really do hope he gets to Miami. That'll be a dope look for him. You know, in a worst case scenario, I would like to see him go to Philly if he didn't go to Miami. But I like him in Miami, and that Heat culture with Spo. And giving, you know, some help to Bam and Jimmy, you know what I mean? Because they needed to, and they had a great year, and that'll be a great way to rebound and capitalize off the run you made, because ain't none of us expect the Heat to make that. I was smoking them on Twitter every week, even when Jimmy was like, well, watch when you see us in the finals and ain't a playing.
Yeah, that ass.
But that's sports.
Yeah.
You're supposed to prove people wrong. And
that's a fact.
As fans of the sport, right, not casuals, we supposed to give them that credit when niggas do the things that we said they couldn't do. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So at the same time, kudos to them. Like I said, I hope he gets to Miami. I hope Portland does this right, because what people got to realize too is that trade is about to represent their future as well.
Yeah.
Because if you do want people to come over there at some point, people are going to see how you treated your megastar for a very long time. A lot of people don't know that. That's why Porzingis is no longer a Knick, because he didn't like what they did to Melo.
It be like that.
And it took them getting a whole new front office regime to get back to the point they at now. But you're with a new regime. That's the problem now. This is not an old regime. The new regime is on his first mega deal, and he has to get this shit right. Even if he takes back poor players, he has to show people that I took care of the dude that took care of us and carried us for 10 plus years.
100%. So now that you got Scoot over there, you like, yo, bro, look, you see what just happened. Like, now whether we win, lose, or draw, this kid was out here, you know, putting it on the line, and then when it was time for him to go, like you said, we met his demands. We want to see him off right, because we want to make sure that we return the same favor. Because if it was just business, it's just business. We're sending where we want to send him. But nah, he built up a rapport not only with the Blazers but in Portland. Yeah, like that's his shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure like that played a part in it too. Like, where he don't want to lead the people, he didn't develop relationships with people in that town. So, but I'm happy overall, because we come from the era of watching Kevin Garnett waste his, you know, years away in Minnesota. 100%. And I'm sure, I think that somebody even, you know, tossed this out there, like, you know, hopefully Dame has a conversation with Kevin Garnett at some point where they talk about that. And I'm pretty sure if he did have a conversation with KG during this process, I'm sure that conversation went a little bit something like, hey man, I respect you. If you want to stay in Portland and do your thing, I get it, because I was there before too. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna regret when you know later in your career if you don't make that move and see at least what you can do somewhere else. Because in Miami, let's not get it twisted. This is not the same thing as like LeBron going there, like where it's a little bit more of a, you know, you got two Hall of Fame players, whatever. Like, no, this is very much a shot in the dark. You just want to go there. There's a possibility that this could not work, but he wants to go there.
And it's not only that too, it's about, like, the thing about it, Dame is one of those unique players to where he's as great as he is, he's a plug in and go.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really a team on the league that you can't put him on right now and he's just not going to do his thing and fit in to their culture, what they do, their offense, because he can play either way. He could go fast, he could go half court. It doesn't matter. His mentality is a dog mentality. He's a workhorse. And like I said, I think Miami just went away. Pat Riley all the way down through that organization is just, you know, those the guys that work in the steel mill. You feel me? Like,
the
fact that these are the factory niggas that don't get the credit that they get for
the oil stain on their sub sandwich. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Niggas going home. The
niggas thought it was soy sauce and all that, but they was like,
I'm saying niggas thought he had licorice on his clothes. Like,
you never knew.
Nigga going to the house.
That's Pennzoil, you heard?
Feel me? The Lugs logo was on the carpet when he get in the crib. You feel me? So,
you know how you open the door, it'd be the Benz logo. You open the door, it'd be the Lugs logo on the ground and the lights and shit. Yeah, imagine that pulling up like that. Look, you wasn't ready for that. Look.
That shit gonna say Funk Flex on the joint.
Shit gonna be like New York City. If you outside of a bodega right now,
but like that,
Oh.
that he fits perfect in any culture. So you know,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a hard transition for him. And I think when he looked at Miami, like he said, when you look at Jimmy, I tell people all the time. You see me say this on Twitter all the time. Jimmy is not. He's the star that plays like a superstar.
Yeah.
You know, he does superstar things. He's not considered to be a superstar, but he does everything.
He got flashes. He got superstar flashes for sure.
When the moment is
when it
big,
matters. Yeah.
When the lights come on,
and that's what's important. Yeah.
When the lights come on and they can throw the Ray-Bans on and be like, we lit.
Yeah,
you know
I like that. I like that.
He shows his ass at all times. Bam took a whole nother leap this year. Whole nother leap.
He did.
And it's giving him something like Miami never really had nothing like Dame before. You've had the dirty niggas like, Caron Butler, which could be a Jimmy Butler type of player. You had all those wings. You had the hard defensive bigs like Bam is, but Bam is also a unique player himself.
Yeah.
And I think that you surround.
And he looked like he Fat Albert and them shit, man, the Junkyard Gang and all that. So that's important.
So it's going to be great if he goes there for them. I think they're about to also land Christian Wood on the low. So that'd be a crazy pickup too to put next to Bam because
that'd be crazy.
You can hide all his defensive, deficiencies that people talk about. But I've never seen a player, just to dive into free agency a little bit more real quick. But Christian Wood gets 20 points and 10 rebounds in 12 minutes, and people act like that's normal. And you can preach all that defensive shit that you want all day, but let's stop acting like everybody in the league plays fucking defense.
Yeah. It's not. It's the reason why. It's the reason why Marcus Smart, the first guard to win. You know what I'm saying? Defensive, fucking player of the year. Like there's a reason.
No, for real.
The first one to do it since GP is the the rest of
it.
But there's a reason why, because all you got to do is play sound defense, and people like, oh shit, we haven't seen that before. Like let's whatever.
Defense.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like you said, talking about free agency. Couple things went down, man. Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? To the Celtics. How you feel about that?
And like I said, I feel like that whole trade was a match made in heaven. I think we discussed this before too, but it's a match made in heaven. You know what I mean? Because they need it like badly in Boston. And I get it. Marcus Smart is the heart and soul of that team. Like I totally get it. But he's also a gift and a curse type player. You know what I mean? You live by the gun, you die by the gun with him type of player. And a lot of times it was costly rather than,
I agree.
Being a good outweighing a bad. And I think with Porzingis, I think Tatum and them need to get loosened up a little bit more. And I think that's what he provides. Also, he provides great insurance with Horford and Rob. Horford being older. Horford doesn't get hurt, but he's older. And Rob, is consistently just hurt. He's never 100%. So the insurance you have with him and putting Porzingis there as a stretch big, because Boston besides Cleveland, which are like probably the only teams that mastered at this point in this new day and age of small ball basketball, that just have two bigs that's like 7 feet each.
Yeah, like legitimate, work. Yeah.
So I think that Porzingis is bringing a dynamic that Boston never had, and I think that's going to also, bring Coach Mazzulla's creative side out, because you got to make that work, because Porzingis is coming off a career year, bro. Like he had a fucking incredible year last year. More than people realized. And he should honestly shoot his highest percentage ever with the looks he's going to get with the attention that Tatum and Brown.
That mid-range game going to be his for the taking, my nigga. Like, nasty, man. Yeah, nasty. And he got the complexion for the connection too. So it's you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Plug and play right there. But I do agree on some shit. Like if you looked up and told me that every night Porzingis was like fucking 12 and 19, I wouldn't be shocked. Dead serious, because like he's gonna get so many looks in that mid-range little area that if he shoot 19 shots, like, you know what I mean, 6 of them gonna be from right there under the basket. So the rest of them shots is gonna be probably uncontested or maybe mildly contested because he's super fucking tall, can do whatever. Right there, that mid-range game, like they got them a real threat from that position that they can't. Because a lot of times when I see Boston running their offense, it feels like they can't figure out the mid-range at times, bro. Like they either take a 3 or it's something like closer into the basket, but that little mid-range, sometimes that should be kicking their ass. They'll get 4 straight possessions where they don't get anything, and I'm like,
it's just
damn.
a weird hit, like, and I've seen it in person. Like, I was at their games, you know.
I remember I saw you documenting that. You was out there pulling up.
Very weird to watch them because they'll be so good. And then you'll be like, what the fuck?
They'll miss 4 straight shots, and you'll be like, yo, dog, what happened to this team? Y'all was just up 13.
But the crazy thing, bro, it might go deeper than 4 shots. That shit might end up being 14 missed in a row.
No, you're right. You're right. I was being generous. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, you really being nice. Like, they won't score for like 8 minutes. You like, how? I just had like 100 in the first 2 quarters. You come back for 102. So it's like, with that, I think that he's gonna have that assurance for them. Like, as again, like, all right, these 2 ain't on. He can definitely get on. And part of the problem is Tatum does need to get used to being in that mid-range area, but he also has to work on driving to the basket. I've never seen somebody 6'10".
He got to stop playing like you wearing jeans, man. Let's just call it what it is. Because I like Tatum a lot, but he plays a lot of times like he still got to pull his pants up. Like he's dribbling with the one hand, he pull his pants up, and as soon as he got him up, he pulled up for the shot. A lot of times I see him hesitant. Like he bugging out. Like a lot of times he be bugging out because I feel like he's a frustrating player to watch because you know how good he is, you know how much better he could be. But a lot of times he gets in his own way. So I mean, hopefully if he puts the work in, you know, he can go to that next level.
And I think a lot of the problem is too, like these niggas, a lot of basketball players these days just look for the foul too much.
100%, because they do a lot of crying when they don't get it. And it's like, my nigga, if you play for the points, you'll learn to be disappointed in the miss more than you disappointed in the non-call.
Right. So my even more so to your point, like when I say playing for the foul, is like if you play ball, you know, if you go into the basket, especially for a layup, your eyes is only on the rim.
Absolutely. It's not only the defender and let me see how I can trick the ref to think he touched me.
I'm watching niggas either try to trick the ref or I'm watching them just go and throw the ball up because they are anticipating a whistle.
Throw their hands up and you like
that a lot. And that shit
you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that all the time.
You're not gonna get that. He doesn't get it because Tatum all the time. Y'all gonna probably laugh when y'all see this because y'all know it's true. But Tatum do that shit when he don't get the call. He do that Kobe clap. Come on, like
100% he do. 100% he be like, yo, what this nigga like? Maybe yo, get your ass back down there and play defense
and stop falling.
Fuck you talking about?
You leaving like 12 points on the floor.
100,000% you are, bro. Like chase the mate. Yeah,
layups is 12 points, bro. That's a lot of points. And
that is a lot of points.
30 that day.
Yeah, when it come to all NBA and you know top fives, this and top threes, that's a lot of points. And 12 points is a lot. So let's go down the list right here. Bong, Chicago Bulls, my team.
Yeah.
Javon Carter, they got him on a 3-year deal. Torrey Craig, 2-year deal. Both of those, I want to stop right there. Both of those, I think, are great signings on the defensive end. I think they can also, you know, do a good job of maybe turning those turnovers or those, you know, those stops on defense into points. So I do like that for us because a lot of times we'll go 3-4 straight minutes where we just letting the other team do what they want to do. And at least now we got a defensive presence, not only on the perimeter, but we got something that's just like I fuck with Javon Carter.
So in regards to that though, asking you being that you're a Bulls fan and you're not a biased fan, where do y'all go from here? Because granted, y'all got Javon. I think it's great additions, especially for if you had a certain team. But in the reality of situation, I personally don't think, and I know you're probably going to agree that Vooch, DeMar, and Zach is enough. Talented core, but it's not enough. And then y'all bench is not that deep.
Yeah.
What is the plan, or like what do you think? You know what I mean, you see going forward for y'all, because I don't see a pathway to where it's like y'all can make a contender.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I see a pathway, but I don't see them committing to a plan to get there. Because if you're going to get there, you got to understand that some of those pieces in that big three they're good pieces individually, and sometimes they even have great collective games. But I think overall, those can't be your building blocks moving forward. So this is the summer where if the Reinsdorf, you know, really told you, hey, you got the green light, you can do whatever you want to do, you know, AK and Mark Eversley, this is the summer where you say, okay, one of you got to go.
Right.
if the teams out there are looking at Zach LaVine because they like what he can do, he's a little younger than DeMar and shit like that.
Yeah.
Cool. You got DeMar coming off the books. What next summer? If you want to trade him right now, if somebody want to take, cool. But somebody has to go. You have to make a tough decision right now.
Yeah.
That the fans are just gonna have to sit back and rock with you on. Because if not, then we're never gonna know who you are. If you keep playing it, close to the vest and you playing it safe. But to answer your question, we have to rebuild. This is not a retooling thing. Retooling is like what Milwaukee can do. Because Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? They're champions recently.
Perfectly
they hit a rocky patch. They can retool. Right. We need to rebuild because the foundation is not sturdy. What's our direction? What's our identity? We don't have one. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo went, him going down, I think it hurt a lot of things too, obviously. But since then, it's just been like, let's just go out there and try to see what we can do tonight. And I don't really like that. So I think that our plan should be to rebuild because you got these defensive pieces. Maybe you making way for a superstar who doesn't really play defense a lot, but he can score a lot of points. I'm not going to say no names, but maybe you make a room for him. Maybe you sign Javon Carter and Torrey Craig because you're like, oh, we got another guard that's going to come in, hint, hint, wink, wink, and he doesn't really play a lot of defense, but we can match that. So maybe if that's your move, we're going to double back on these signings and we're going to say, oh, yeah, that makes sense because Kobe White took a very team-friendly deal.
He did.
$30 million, I think he got for 3. Yeah. That is an incredible deal for a point guard in today's NBA, boy, because he's not a guy that's going to necessarily like move the needle, but when he's on, you like, yeah, I'm glad I got him on my team and he ain't on the other team, so I'll take that.
And I think with Kobe, I think given the right situation, he could be like a 6th man of the year, type of player, being that spark plug off the bench. If you just let him go, I think that's where he will get.
I like that.
His shine at. So, but I definitely agree with you with that plan. Like,
yeah,
that's the answer I was honestly looking for. That's how.
Yeah, you know me, bro. Listen, you know me, bro. I don't go through this pain for no reason. I don't go through this pain and still be delusional. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still be, rational about it. Max Strus, you talked about the Heat a little bit. Max Strus went to the Cavs. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
That's tough.
That's a sneaky pickup. That's gonna be so tough for them. And you know what I'm saying? Like
they've been looking for that. Like,
yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Crazy.
He's tough. I like him.
Find it in him, but they've been looking for that wing.
Yeah,
3-and-D. But they've had 3-and-D guys before, but he literally is like,
yeah, he's that.
He's that.
I like him.
He fits into systems. He's gonna bring that Heat culture over there to the younger guys. Because that's still a young team. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar, but a lot of people forget that he's still a kid. Like he's young.
That's
he
true.
Just came and hit the ground running.
It's a big pause on the puck, man. That's what that's what they call it.
So they made a great pickup, and even getting Niang too. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%. They got him on a 3-year deal. They got Karis LeVert on a 2-year deal. Ty Jerome on a 2-year deal. Yeah,
I love the Ty Jerome pickup.
Yeah,
a lot.
They did good. They did good.
So
yeah,
my son Cash. My man Cash. Shout out to my man Cash. Cash is an agent. Cash. His player just got paid the other day too. A contract from the Spurs. He represents. You probably seen him in Summer League killing. Juju Champagny.
Okay. That's shit. Okay. Yeah.
Client. So he got $12 million the other day. But like, I actually met Ty Jerome when he was in like 8th grade through Cash, and I was like, yo, this little white nigga here.
And his name is Ty Jerome, bro. Like, come on, dog.
I heard his name a lot. I'm like, yo, I can't wait to see this little nigga. I'm like, I can't even call him a little nigga.
Yeah.
So, but he a cool kid, man. And he the same way he is now, same way you seen him.
Yeah.
He went on and got the NCAA chip. With Virginia, and then made it to. He kind of ironically, you being a Bulls fan, he always reminded me of like Kirk Heinrich.
That's so crazy. I like that. No, I like that. I'm not mad at that at all because he's tough.
So I like the pickup for him. He's gonna stabilize. When Garland goes to the bench, that offense is going to stabilize for them. He's really good like that. He can shoot the shit out the 3 ball. So very good.
I'm looking at Dallas. I like what they did. I do.
They gained some traction, bro.
Yeah, Seth Curry on a 2-year deal. Kyrie, obviously, I think that was the biggest domino because without that, a lot of other shit doesn't come into play. Grant Williams was the sneaky one too. Grant Williams was a sneaky pickup. I didn't necessarily, have that in the back of my mind at all, but when it happened, I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
It picked up a lot of steam towards the end. I already knew he wasn't coming back. Like the Porzingis thing was the writing on the walls that Boston wasn't bringing him back. But I knew that Dallas wanted him real bad. But and they almost, which would have been a crazy deal, they almost got Matisse Thybulle yesterday. I didn't think that Portland was going to match them, but
yeah, Portland was like, "Shit, we gotta do something."
Maybe they use him for a trade chip later. That's why everybody matched the offer.
Maybe.
But that would have been crazy to have Thybulle on Dallas too. So I'm interested to see, what other step Dallas tries to take to add on to that team. They still got tradable people, like Tim Hardaway Jr.
Absolutely.
Held on to him.
Yeah.
Then just seeing what I like that they got Rashawn Holmes. A lot of people.
Rashawn Holmes.
They got Rashawn Holmes. You know what I mean? And then like we spoke about Derek Lively last week. So
Yep.
They're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? And Kid just got to get together on the sideline, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of times he get caught up and he just be too transparent with it. Like some shit he gotta say for his diary, like Doug or Moesha or something. You need to go back and watch Doug and Moesha because a lot of shit you just be saying, it's like we probably shouldn't be hearing that, Jay. Like just relax,
dog. That with us, bro. Like, why did you share that with us?
Yeah, like what's going on with you, bro? Like we didn't need to know that. You could have just
that nigga be like, why didn't you play Christian Wood? I'd be like, well, I don't really like the nigga. What?
Yeah, like, what you mean, bro? Like, like calm down. Yeah, I don't.
Nigga be like, y'all asked me a question, so
you're right. And then you sit there with the Alonzo Mourning gift, like, I guess, yeah,
like,
you're not
right.
wrong.
You bugging.
Shout out to the Nuggets, Justin Holiday, Reggie
Sneaky
Jackson, DeAndre Jordan. They got a couple glue pieces, you know what I'm saying, back in the building. You know what I mean? That I feel like, speak to you beyond, like, you look at their numbers on the court, like, these are just good locker room championship culture guys. You know what I'm saying? 1,000%, because they just won. So you want to when you just won and you're in a position of power and you're successful, you want to be around people that make the environment a better place. It's still a job for people. Let's not forget this. GMs, coaches, training staff, players, everybody is talked to when it comes to like who should come back and shit like that. I'm sure it should be by the good organizations that win championships because the culture is important. We gotta have him back. We got to have him back. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So, man, shout out to the guys, man. Shout out to the champs and all that. I'm looking at the Detroit Pistons, man. Long live my pops. I couldn't skip over this because Monte Morris, right? I like it, but Joe Harris. Joe Harris is the peak. That one for me again. Like it came out of nowhere because I didn't know if Detroit was going to be active in the trade market necessarily.
They got busy.
Yeah, my pops would have definitely been calling me about this and being like, "Yeah, you see that boy Joe Harris? Yeah, that motherfucker, man. He been talking. I already know, so I had to touch on that, man. I had to. I
like what they did. I like what they did. They're gonna, and I think that with them having a summer together, these young boys, I think that next year, and then with Monty coaching, I mean, I think that they're gonna take a leap. I really do. Wiseman getting a full summer with them, Jalen Duran. You know what I'm saying? Bagley had a good end of his year over there with them.
Yeah. Shout out to Bagley.
Well, they got a lot of bigs. I don't know if they're gonna keep, Bojan, but you already know what he does. So, and then Ivy, I think Ivy breaks out even more because he had to go through those growing pains with K being out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So he kind of hit a hard wall because offenses was so easy to key on him. But I know when I watched that he played very well.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Pistons, man. I'm always happy for the hometown, man. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Always. The Warriors, we talked about this last week, Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? They got Corey Joseph, they got him on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
But I think the news here is obviously Draymond Green. He didn't go out on a long free agent tour. He kind of put those rumors to bed very quick, which I kind of knew behind the closed doors that, like, okay.
Both of us, right.
Yeah, like you kind of know, like when they got Jordan Poole out of there, okay, cool. Yeah, let's just bring in let me just see the numbers for the Draymond deal. So for him to do the 4-year deal, it's probably means that he's gonna wrap his career up with Golden State, which we all expected.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
None
you know
of
what I'm saying?
Outside of a Golden State jersey.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think that this is just a great. It was great for them to do this because they kept the guys together, and I think that that's something that long term will be remembered the same way you remember the championships. You'll remember that they kept the core guys together, and they
whether they won another one or not.
period. Whether they got one or not, they had the fucking storybook ending where it's like we came up together, we won together, we lost together, we won again, and we're gonna ride on to the sunset together as well. So shout out to the Warriors for that. I like that a lot. Houston Rockets. Now,
I want to hear your thoughts on this.
So shout out to my dog Fred VanVleet, because I like Fred VanVleet a lot. Love him. I love his story, how he did the draft party and shit like that. And if you don't know his story, please go look it up. I don't want to spoil it for you if you never heard it, because the shit brought me to a tear. Maybe I was cutting the onion at the time. Maybe I wasn't. That's my business.
A piece of pollen just flew by.
Yeah, basically. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. But I was happy for him getting paid. Patty Mills is always just a solid guy who, if you got him on your team, hey man, you know ball, because Patty Mills is he's a fucking hooper.
If I'm not mistaken, they actually just swapped him again, didn't they? Right?
Absolutely, 100%. Yep. So
Somebody
I mean, it's
up with him.
Yeah,
a contender that's gonna be cheating, but whatever.
1000%. Yeah. You know what I mean. So Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green. Shout out to Uncle Jeff. Shout out to Uncle Jeff, because I thought he was gonna be done years ago, and he's out here still dunking on your aunt and your uncle's side. Like he
got a dunk contract. I think that his contract just say just dunk the ball.
Yeah, not that. As long as you dunk at least like 29 times this year, we're gonna give you an extra M. Fuck it. But the biggest news is Dillon Brooks. Yeah. Now,
what you think?
I'm not saying that anybody like I'll say this. Dillon Brooks is not a terrible basketball player. That's number one. Yeah. I know that the last couple months can kind of, persuade you into thinking like he's the worst person to ever touch a basketball and shit like that. Yeah. But we could bring up a lot of names. We'd be here all night.
Right.
I think that it was ballsy by the Houston Rockets to pick him up, but I think also it was something that was like, look, if you see what he can do and you see what he can bring to the table, bring him in. Fuck who feels some type of way about it. You shouldn't care what somebody feels about it. That's what you're gonna bring him in. Like, it is what it is.
I think
fuck it.
Well, let's just be honest, right? Like, we know what age we in social media. You know what I mean? It's jokes over facts. You know what I'm saying? That's for one. But two, it's like, everybody's in the moment reactionary. Nobody ever thinks about past being within that moment of what's happening.
Right.
Now, do we have to agree? I mean, at the end of the day, he got the smoke he warranted. Let's just call it what it is. Because when you start chatting,
absolutely.
You got to respond a certain way. He didn't respond the way that you would want to see, and he went out very bad. Truth is the truth. And we all joke, we all slander, we love the China jokes, but in all reality, bro, that man was not going to not be in the NBA this year.
Yeah, he was going to be in the league for sure.
You know what I mean? So people could stop acting like it's just
the Adam Silver voiceover was just too funny to pass up. So like niggas had to use that. I respect it too. We got to go down with the shit, man.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting. I think that Ime could get him on track. And I think that it puts him in a position of responsibility.
Yeah.
I think he needs, because like, even though he's still young too, but even like being in Memphis with John, all of them being young, they're his peers.
Yep.
With the youngsters that Houston has, they're not his peers.
Right.
And they're not far behind him in age, but however, you're the vet at this point. And those kids need guidance. So his responsibility is, so you know what? You did what you did. Maybe you learned from it. Now you got to apply that to these young boys that we're trying to get right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I'm interested to know though of what Houston does right now is, who's leaving.
Right.
Because if Ime doesn't get KPJ to buy into a 6-man role, because at this point, when I do the process of elimination, I personally, and I could be wrong, I personally don't see KPJ starting. And I'm not saying that KPJ will have a problem with not starting. I don't know that man's personal thinking or none of that. I'm just saying it's a conflict at that position, right? Because it's either him or Jalen, and writings on the wall would tell you Jalen's going to be the one that gets picked to start, right? So, and you got Dillon Brooks at 20 million a year. It's not like he's coming off the bench for 20 million a year. Yeah. Jabari's not going to the bench. Şengün to Şengün. Fred VanVleet probably own Trailblazers in Houston now. So point, that nigga is going to be starting whether he got two legs or not for that 40 million a year. So
If I'm Fred VanVleet, I'm remaking all Paul Wall album covers this summer. Like I'm putting them out at random times. Yeah,
and I'm gonna have Trey the Truth as the assistant coach.
You got to, bro. You got to have mad niggas, bro. Like real shit. Yeah.
It's interesting to see what direction they go, and if Ime is able to get KPJ to buy in and be like a spark plug off the bench. I think that's
I hope so. I hope so, man. And I think also it's crazy to have Dylan Brooks as your vet. Like that's like if you went to work and Kevin from the office was like doing your orientation. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, all right, bet. Like this the boy that all right, cool.
Right.
We're gonna move on from that though. The Clippers, shout out to the Clippers. They got KJ Martin, who I like a lot.
Yeah.
I fuck with KJ Martin crazy. He got the energy. He one of the guys. Like he seemed like one of the guys. I like him. Mason Plumlee, though the Plumlees is like the NBA fucking Wayans or something. Be like
niggas
they
don't
got
go nowhere, bro.
It's mad Plumlees in the league. Mad plums, plum dogs, and
plum dog million.
Yeah, it's plum dog, man. Plum dog millies.
Sorry, I can't.
Nah, chill out, man. But this is a deal that had a lot of people kind of like in a frenzy and shit, man. You know, about Russell Westbrook coming back on a 2-year deal, 2 years, $8 million. I didn't necessarily look at this like they was trying to smoke Russ. Like I thought that.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, so, like I didn't feel like they was burning, but I do want to get your take on that. I want to hear what you got to say about this.
It's not a take. It's more so a fact. It was all they can give him. That's all it was.
They can't go over the cap because they don't. It's because they don't have his bird rights. If I'm not mistaken,
they literally had no choice. So it was really up to whether he wanted to return or not. Which is why they always kept saying whether they got Harden in the trade or somebody else, they still wanted him back because they love him over there.
100%.
He went back because he was able to be himself over there. I think.
Yeah, and he's home. He's home.
You know what I mean? Like I really think he embodies being home and playing for LA.
This year 15 for him, bro.
Like, come on, you know what I mean? And like the man just came off making $40-something million. Like $4 million ain't nothing or nothing to him at this point. He just want to play. I think people really lose.
It's a bonus at this point, bro. I'm sure he wouldn't play for free because I didn't make money off of him. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you're gonna pay me $4 million a year for 2 years to play here. Okay.
In my latter years, you know what I
mean? I want to play here anyway.
Right. And it's in my latter years, and you give me $4 million a year to come play with contenders, and I'm home and I'm out of the bullshit spotlight. There's no more blame on me. And you know, I think people really lose the fact of Russ really just likes to hoop.
Yeah.
I mean, like he really don't care about none of that other bullshit.
That's why he's not like these days. Just you got to remember the era we in right now is way more about narratives than it is about actual love for the game and you really giving a fuck about basketball. So he's not one of the guys who buys into narratives. So he's like a boring player to them. So they'll villainize him in light of like somebody who catch a hot streak for like 2 weeks. Now he's not a dude that catch a hot streak for 2 weeks is the GOAT. And Russell Westbrook, who averaged a triple-double, when my pops, you told me about the Big O doing it, I said, yeah, right. I said, ain't nobody ever. And we just watched this man do this shit, what, 3 times?
3 times.
And they acting like it's nothing. They're like, this is a triple-double.
But I tell people, again, Mark, like, you know, we hate to be, you know, I mean, the horse over the head repeatedly, but like, if y'all don't know, me and Maury relationship go back way prior before
100%
this show was even thought of. Like 100%. This is family to me. So I say that to say we have a lot of conversations, and aren't these things that we bring up all the time?
On the regular, bro. On the regular, is nasty, man. It's really nasty work.
And with Russ is like I tell people all the time. So I say that to say, a lot of times when people talk negative about players, it's actually a testament to how great they are.
Yeah.
So like for people to watch a nigga average a triple-double and be like, you know how ridiculous that is?
Bro, the day that a triple-double became just normal thing. Like, bro, I remember when we was coming up watching ball, it was like, bro, getting a triple-double meant like, damn, we were watching a fantastic player right now. You trying to tell me that my dad told me when I was a little kid that the Big O averaged a triple-double, and I promise you, I could not. I was like, bro, there's no way there's no way. How? He can't. How? Michael Jordan didn't do it. LeBron James not doing it. How?
Bro,
and then Russ did it 3 times.
And even more so, you know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, bro, like when Oscar Robertson did that shit, he was playing for the Flint Tropics, bro.
My nigga, that's exactly.
You feel me? Like
exactly.
niggas
Wearing
like,
steel toe sneakers, probably more than
you
likely,
feel me?
because of
Niggas
the
had,
safety regulations, OSHA and all that.
and the basket had the straw joint. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was a nigga under there at one point, like, yo, just you know what I'm saying, like doing this. So shout out to him, man. But you know, niggas stop acting like Russ is regular. And yeah, 2 years for $8 million. You could look at it in a vacuum, it's a bad deal and it's disrespectful. But when you look at the big scope, like the spectrum of like the whole shit, it make perfect sense, bro. Like
it's
let's
just
not do
understanding.
too much with this.
It's understanding how money in sports works. That's all.
100%, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people understood that because I know for a fact that when people seen that 2 years, 8 minutes, like damn. And the fucked up part about it is that contracts like that are people will put a connotation with that, like that defines as somebody falling off.
But imagine this though. Imagine if Russ would have negotiated for 14 and it was like,
They'll say that's too much.
he's just trying to get the money. He's just trying to get the
Or they'll say
like,
they overpaid them.
Yeah, like so there's no winner. We started this off talking about NBA
don't.
media and the fans don't know what they want, and it's just a fact.
Damn if you don't.
Shout out to the Lakers. I do like the Lakers. I like that shit on the low, man. They got D'Angelo Russell back. You know, feel how you want to feel about D'Angelo Russell.
No
they got Gabe Vincent, another one of the guys from the Heat who I fuck with, who I think is gonna win them a decent amount of games. I think he's gonna set himself up in LA to get paid for real the next time he get paid. For what he can bring to the table. Austin Reeves got a 4-year deal. Shout out to him. Cam Reddish was a sneaky pickup because I still like Cam. I like Cam Reddish a lot. He's over there with Darvin Ham. Yes. I think Darvin Ham's going to let him get a chance to get some burn, like the proper burn. You know what I'm saying?
I tell people, like, but not like, you know, teams that don't play on TV, people don't know, man. So the casual. Yeah. So like I seen somebody on there the other day, like, oh my God, he's bouncing from team to team and doing, bro, like, first of all, like, he got traded to a place where the coach didn't want him. Right. Coach didn't play him, which was New York. He gets out of New York, goes to Portland. Dame Lillard raves about him. He plays well. Right. He gets hurt. He cannot control injuries. Yeah. But he played well. But people like he hasn't done anything. Little nigga's like 22 years old. Relax.
Yeah, like, bro, he's a kid, man. Like, let him get a Can he get a chance?
Like, let him find somebody who actually knows how to play him.
Can he get a good 2-year run first before we be like, he ain't shit? God, like, come on, man.
You know what I mean? So I think, I love the pickup at LA.
I like him.
Pickup that really, I think, shook up a lot of people for LA. Jackson Hayes.
I was just about to say they got him on 2 years too.
Same pickup.
That's a good deal right there.
That's nothing. Yeah. And he's gonna bring an energy like they never had before, and he's young.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be one of them fan favorites that go crazy on TikTok, like Lakers TikTok or whatever. They're gonna have a whole compilation of his shit throughout the season. They're gonna fuck with him.
They did real well. They did really, really well. I gotta say, Rob.
Yeah, they did.
He put the butter pecan down, got off the couch and started making deals.
Because it wasn't like the sexy, like, oh, we got this too, we got that. It's like, no, these are the ones that make sense. Let's introduce this Lakers culture, this Lakers fan base to players who we actually need. Yeah, 100%.
So I agree.
We looking at Memphis. We looking at the Grizzlies. Desmond Bane, obviously he got the 5-year extension. We already know. You can know that. We start out talking about Marcus Smart. They got him. Mm-hmm. We also got Derrick Rose, who I think is probably going to end up finishing his career in Memphis. I think maybe he might do sign a 1-day contract to retire with Chicago. That's how it go. So I mean, I can appreciate what Memphis did this summer. They didn't do too much. They let go of Dylan Brooks, who obviously it felt like he lost favor.
Yeah, they went locker room focus.
So I mean,
I think that they believe in their roster, the personnel that they have, but I think that their thing was we need somebody to keep these niggas like
these niggas need a nigga.
They need a nigga here, and niggas, anybody niggas gonna listen to, niggas gonna listen to Rose, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like D Rose, because D Rose don't even talk. So if he start talking, it's a problem. You know what I mean, like, and then they get a lot of their players back too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, that wasn't healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we get what's his name that got hurt last year? My God, Brandon Clark.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? The young boy Zaire could be healthy again. They need to play my man Kenny Lofton though. Like,
nah, bro, hold on. Alex Lynn is still in the league.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Nah, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but goddamn, bro, I didn't know that nigga still was. Maybe I'm out the loop. Maybe that's
he on the Kings, right?
Yeah, they're going to Kings, bro. Holy shit.
I think he might be a good locker room guy. So,
Listen, he got to be the locker room guy. He got to be a good valet nigga or something. Like,
you have to relax, bro.
That nigga's still in the league, bro. Shit. Shout out to him.
He not old either.
Nah, shout out to him. That nigga like 21, B. Like, shout out to
You on fire today, bro.
No, but let's so let's do this, right? Because I do wanna nothing else really kind of like, really like moves me crazy to talk about. So I want to talk about this. We shared an opinion, right? And this wasn't even on a rundown, but I think this is a good way to end the show, right?
All right.
The Phoenix Suns. Now, let's talk about expectations in sports, specifically basketball, because people like, oh, it's unfair to expect the Phoenix Suns to get Kevin Durant and have title expectations. No, it's not.
It's not.
Because when they traded for him, do you think the person that traded for him that pushed the green light on that said, we'll be all right after this? No, it was weird. We have expectations. Disappointment comes from expectations because you know what's up. So now I'm going to tell you how
you got to say that again. That was a bar, bro.
Listen, bro. Disappointment comes from expectations. When you expect something to be some way and it's not that, understand you created your own disappointment.
Yes.
Nobody promised you anything. You created that yourself. So I want to circle back to a conversation you and I had when this happened. We talked about this, about Kevin Durant. And it's like, bro, when they got put out the playoffs, yes, that's a failure. That's a disappointment. And they're like, oh, well, they ain't even had that much time together. They whatever. Cool. Guess what? Fast forward a year later, Bradley Beal says, and I quote, well, I don't quote because I got it in front of me. But anyway, it's the same shit. Whatever. He said it's good to finally be playing meaningful games. Yeah. They haven't played the game together. Yeah. But guess what? He's expecting to be playing meaningful basketball. So that means when you and I were talking about having expectations about the Phoenix Suns acquiring Kevin Durant, it's the same shit. We expected this to be one way. Imagine if the Phoenix Suns don't make the playoffs this year. Would that be a disappointment to you?
Of course.
So then why do people act like having expectations for teams trading for great players is a bad thing? No, it's what it is. No, that's why they go there.
Especially, I was about to say that, especially the way it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because they luckily they got an owner who just don't give a fuck about money. And he said he didn't give a fuck about money. And he kept you on his word. Yep. But it pays off because Golden State had the same issues. Bob Myers was like, you know what I mean? We got a team. We need to make these niggas winners. Long story short, though, I think that when you do set these expectations, they bring it upon themselves sometimes too, because they all were in cahoots with these moves. You understand what I'm saying? So when you puppeteer moves, right, then you definitely create those expectations for yourself, because you're going. It's always tell people, you know what I mean, if you most of the time, and this is just me or people that you grew up when you was playing ball in the hood growing up. Usually when you picking your team after y'all picking your five, you try to get your best five so y'all can stay on the court and don't get off the court. Yep. And it's the same way that niggas is doing it, except these are NBA players. So I would think that when I'm saying, Bill, come fuck with me, you know what I mean, Book, KD, come fuck with me, Ayton, you stay, such and such, come fuck with me, whoever. The goal is to absolutely win a championship and nothing less. Absolutely. Like they're not making the playoffs. If they get eliminated early next year, it's going to be a disappointment, because they didn't create that team and spend all that money to just
be like, oh, maybe we'll see what's up.
We're cool, we're playing together. So, and that shit is like fucking, how much money is tied up between all four of them niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like
most of the roster, like 93% of the fucking salary, dog.
Salary is 4 niggas. So yes, that like nigga, if you're gonna pick these niggas up, I'm expecting that y'all bringing a Larry O'Brien home, bro.
And if they don't, it's a disappointment. This is what I'm trying to say, man. Like let's not get so far removed from like because if you know what success is, then you know what failure is. And I'm not saying that it makes these guys individually failures. Like no, you know what I'm saying. Like Giannis had a whole thing. He waxed poetic about failure and shit like that. Yeah. But I think he missed the mark because nobody was asking, are you guys failures in life because you didn't win a championship? No, was this season a failure? And I'll say this: if your expectations, if your goal for the season was to lose in the first round or the second round, whatever the fuck, then you succeeded.
Right.
But if your goal was to win a championship, then you failed. There's nothing wrong with failing. You only become a failure when you let that failure right there define you. When you lose and you say that's just what it is, you committed to being a failure. As long as you're trying, to me, because I'm a creator and I create and I put my content out here in this world to be judged by millions, whoever can see it. That's not a failure to me.
No, I agree.
But when you go out there and your goal is to win a championship, you fail. Like, so with the Phoenix Suns, should they be? Let me ask you this. Let's have this conversation right quick before we wrap. Should they be title favorites? Should the Phoenix Suns, after acquiring Bradley Beal, be title favorites?
You mean as in general, or like in my opinion? Because in general,
I want both.
In general, they should be. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's fucking damn near like $600 million tied up between four niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's half a B. So if I'm paying you half a B, you'll bring this trophy home. Y'all niggas, you know what I mean? Like y'all might be playing ball in Pelicans Bay, my nigga. You feel me? So that's for one. But as far as my personal opinion, they shouldn't be title favorites. I also think that people jump out the window too deep when people team up and be like they're not. I wouldn't say expecting to win, but I think when people be like they're going to win it all, because there's a difference, right? Like I can't expect you to win the championship, but I'm not going to say for a fact in my brain they're going to win this whole shit.
Only time I did that was when Golden State got KD. When they got him that summer, I said, the title was already done.
But see, the thing about it is the writings is different on each wall.
For sure.
So I say that to say, like, I think that KD going there was tailor-made for him. And I think that that team just all complemented each other too well for it.
It was perfect.
But now you're talking about bringing in a new coach. You gotta hope that your bench pans out right. They have. I like the bench players.
You better hope.
You gotta hope they pan out because they're not like these top tier guys. They have something to prove. But not only that, Ayton is not a guarantee of what he can produce. And then at that, whether you want to admit it or not, this is one of those times where, like, so for instance, like when we spoke about when Brooklyn got Kyrie, KD, and Harden. Granted, they didn't make it to the finals, but it worked out, right? Like they still had a great chemistry. But the argument was, there's only one basketball. I truly think that in this one, it's dead ass only one basketball.
Yeah.
These are like the most ball dominant people I've probably ever seen team up together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact. No, that's a fact.
I don't know. Like Bill has, like, he's played with Wall, but again, Wall was a fucking facilitator, so he can still get his 30 off. And obviously, common sense will tell you, like, if he had to waive his trade clause to go there, so in his brain, you thinking like it's got to be some sacrifice that to be made. You know what I'm saying? Because you made that, and you know who you joining teams with. But it's so much power in those players, which can be a good and a bad thing because they are powerful superstars, bro. And where I think, like I said, Ayton's mentality has to change because I still don't think he's going to be getting the ball where he wants it.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to act. I don't even think his body language is going to demand that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to be a guy that like demands that. I think he's, because I've seeing him play even this season, it's like he's a guy who kind of shies away from the action. And if you're going to be a basketball player, number one, but number two, if you're going to be a dominant basketball player, a factor that people give a fuck about, you gotta get with it, bro. You have to get in the mix. You gotta let people know you there, type shit. Like you can't be passive and timid and being like, it's cool. Y'all don't want to give me the ball. It's cool. No, it can't be cool. You gotta be in that timeout. Like, yo, my nigga, get me involved. Fuck is y'all doing?
And that's the thing, right? It's a difference between like, yo, send that in, or you're like, well, these niggas give me the ball, so I ain't gonna play defense. And then when you go out the huddle, you go to the end of the bench type shit. Like you're not talking when they stop that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he might end up being out of there at a point. Who knows? But like I said, for me, I don't expect them to win a chip in the first year together. That's just me. You know what I mean? I do think that anybody's beatable as well. You know what I'm saying? I do think they can be beat because them niggas also don't play defense.
Yeah.
So no matter what defensive coach they get, all of them gonna have to take a tremendous leap defensively,
Yeah.
or we're just gonna be seeing mad games where the score is 150 to 146.
Yeah, and that's what it seemed like. Hopefully they're not content with that, because I would hate for that to be their fate. Because those games where a team just ain't gonna let you score over 110, you got to figure something in for that. But I think overall, man, but before we get up out of here, free agency and all that, I mean, it's been pretty it's been pretty much like a much needed type of summer where teams are signing guys they need, I guess, until we see what happens with the Dame trade, until we see exactly what he gets traded for, and whatever. We'll still monitor free agency and see what else is going on. Real quick, because I did say we was gonna touch on the Wemby topic real quick. The Wemby and Britney Spears, if you're not familiar, real quick. The way they talked about it, they basically said that Britney Spears walked up to Wemby on some like, all sucks, happy to meet you, nice to know you, and then his security like backhanded her to the floor. The footage came out. She ran up behind him. She was grabbing at his shirt, tapped him and shit like that. Homie that was with him, I don't know if he was Spurs security, Wemby security, whatever, or a combination of both, put his hand up to block the next hit. Like, hey, hold on.
Right.
We're not doing that. And that was the extent of it. She wasn't like knocked to the floor, none of that. And it wasn't like she just walked up with the notepad and the pen and said, "Can I get it?" And then he tackled her like fucking Lance Briggs or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that, that wasn't it. So I do want to say that now. I think Wemby, like we talked about on episode 1, he's gonna have to get accustomed to the media, the American media over here. We talked about that, the American culture, not just the style of basketball, but the way of life over here, because that's gonna have an effect on him on the court. The off the court shit is gonna play a part. And I think now he's getting a chance to see firsthand, like, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I signed up for. All right, cool. Let me see now I gotta touch bases with Tim Duncan and them again. Let's get on a fucking Zoom, or let's get on a fucking conference call. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be all right, though. You know what I'm saying?
Agree. I think he would too. And I think that just was a unfortunate situation. And we all know that Brittany got a lot going on with her too. So other than that, he's gotten a lot of love.
Yeah, 100%.
He definitely has to be ready for stupid shit like that.
Yeah, he got his stain now, man. He got his stain.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's unfortunate because he never played his first summer league game. You know what I mean? He already has to address.
And I believe as we're recording this, he'll be playing tonight. So we'll probably be talking about that the next time we record.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see. You know what I mean?
Talking about that.
And I know Brandon Miller had like a little struggling game against him the first time.
Yeah,
when he played in SAC. So I'm interested to see how he tried to get his.
100%. Yeah, I'm definitely tuned into that, man. I'm tuning into that the same way y'all should be tuned into everything that's going on at the Barbers Chair Network. You know what I'm saying? Sign up for the Patreon and all that. Tap in. And then as far as the Shot Clock show, like you said, we here, man. It's episode 2. Shout out to everybody that tuned in for episode 1. Right. Stay tuned for everything we got coming, man. It's just we out here. This off season, we just, if it's an emergency pod to be had, we will do it. Anything that goes down, we taking notes, man. We check, we making a list and we checking it twice and all that before we pull up on y'all.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
And like homie that wrote us earlier, I mean, as you can see, we tackle all topics. We just talk about open big. Homie that wrote us a question, we saved it for the show. Yeah. So I mean, feel free to tap in either one of us on Twitter or any social media site that you got us on and ask us questions, and we'll answer it on the show. Like we said, it ain't just about bull with us. Yeah, talk about all topics. You want to talk about real life shit too? We'll get into it. You know what I'm saying? But that was dope. Shout out to Ant Smith that wrote that question. And,
absolutely.
I hope I mean, we would like to hear your opinion on
for sure. Yeah. Let us know.
I mean, after you see this, hit us back and let us know what you think about our opinion on it. But it's dope to see that people reaching out to us like that and asking us stuff and feeling comfortable with us already. Like that. So
100%. And if they understand that it's beyond basketball, like we just here to kick it. You know what I'm saying? The main shit is ball, but at the end of the day, ask us anything, man. Holla at us. But until the next time, like I said, man, holla at me on Twitter, man. At Mariano on Twitter, 2 N's, 2 O's. At Mariano Bivens. On Instagram. The song that you hear, the theme song to this pod, is No Hesitation by my brother right here, Just Smith. Let them know where they can follow you on social media once again.
Already know right here, Twitter _Just Smith. vice versa on the other side on Instagram. Put the underscore at the end. And appreciate y'all tuning in. And again, we see y'all on the Fresh 24, man.
Yeah, we out, man. We be back. You all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.